Hey guys, welcome back to another video of Impossible Mowers. In today's video, I'm just going to give you guys a quick little update on what we're doing here. We're going to start with Chuck. He is almost done. I mean, like, possibly next week or the week after, we're looking at a mud ride. I bought the grade 8 bolt. It's coming in for the shifter, the real grade 8 this time. I'm not going to lie to you guys, that video I did post beforehand, I was cooked. We had spent all day actually working on this motor and this mower just to get it dialed in, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But after I finished that, I thought, you know what, it's been a while since you guys have seen Chuck on the channel, why not just post at least something about it? And I went to the store to buy a grade 8, but on the little box it said like grade 8 blah blah blah, like the size of the bolt, but the bolt that was in there was not a grade 8. I don't know if possibly it got shifted around. I'm not too sure, but I thought it was a grade 8. I should know better, because grade 8s are they're gonna look like, trying to find it, we had one in here not too long ago. They're gonna be kind of like a goldish color to them. Just want to show you guys, this is kind of the one I had. It's not the same size, not the same bolt pattern, like not the same threading, but it's kind of similar as far as the metal goes. This is not a grade 8. Your grade 8 is going to have, this is not it, but it's going to have this kind of glimmer to it a little bit. I wish I had a bolt here to show you guys, but I don't think I do. Anyways, that's what my mistake was. I was just really tired, but you know, stuff happens. We're in the fixing phase of these mowers. You know, they took a real harsh beating first year on the channel. Not gonna lie, we lost a tie rod, we lost 2 motors, we lost a transmission, we lost all 4 tires, steering system was shot. I mean, this mower was in real bad condition off the bat on the channel, so it's not a surprise for you guys to see this in the shop more often than you will the other mowers. But not anymore. Since we got the transmission, the engine, a lift kit, ram bar, a new steering system from Go Power Sport. I mean, we dialed this thing in the tread a lot better than it was before. So this is the kind of stuff that just gradually comes over time. But anyways, getting back to what I'm talking about, so we're gonna have the shifter working again. I gotta get some gas and possibly a new starter, because if we look here, see how it kind of skips? It'll kind of go wow. So I don't think we need one now. These are pretty expensive. I mean, you can get them used on eBay for like 30 bucks, 40 bucks, but if you want a new one, it's probably going to be, I'm guessing, 60, 70, 80 bucks within that range. And it all depends on where you buy them from. But theoretically, all this thing needs is a tank of gas and a shifter bolts. Now you're probably wondering, what about the belt? Well, I was gonna post a short about the belt, but something happened right when I was posting it, and I'll tell you guys in just a second here. I went to go fit the belt on, and when I went to go fit the belt on, my phone dropped and I cracked the lens on it. Right, I'll show you. I was filming right over here in this general vicinity, and my phone dropped. I was being too careless, and I dropped the phone right on the little shaft there where my my steering drive line is. So the lens needs to be repaired. I'll probably get that repaired myself, but I didn't want to post a short of me like showing the belt and then bam, it's all pixely because the camera broke on me. So it was an iPhone camera. I should have been recording with the GoPro, but it was all I had on me at the time. But getting back to the belt situation, if you remember, we actually bought a bunch of belts. I think I got like 10 belts up there. And the reason why you guys are probably thinking, well, why didn't you measure the first one and then just look at your pulley system, do the math, and get the right belt? I'm gonna tell you something right now, guys. See the camera facing on me. Putting a 6 in the front, a 9 in the back, and trying to get the right belt size with 2 different idler pulleys, it's not easy. You have a small idler pulley and a big idler pulley. That was my big mistake, because that's what came stock on this LT1000. Usually the idlers are the same size, same thickness, so that the driveline it'll work properly. I got this from a buddy of mine, and I don't know what happened, but the idlers were 2 different sizes. So I don't know what happened in between there. What I had to do, if you guys remember last year on the channel when I was buying the steering system, is I had to buy 2 steel idler pulleys. And the reason why I went with steel is so that it's better, it's stronger, it's not gonna burn off like plastic ones do. But anyways, it took me so many times to get the belt right. I went from 102 to 101 to 100 to 98, because I had a 100 on there. It was way too big, so I thought I'll go 3 inches down. I'll go 100, 99, 90, I'll go 97, 98. Nope, wasn't the right one. And then I finally bought the 99, and it worked. So we have a lot of belts. And what was really cool was I got these belts off of eBay, and all of the sellers said, you know what, it's the wrong size, no biggie, here's your money back, you can keep the belt. So we got these belts pretty much for free, and I got my money back from them, which is a pretty good deal. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Sometimes with belts, it's a guessing game. If you guys remember with Harriet, the Husqvarna my customer had that has departed us, that was hard to get a belt from because we couldn't just cut a brand new belt and measure it. I mean, that wouldn't make sense. We literally had to just go by eye and model number, but we eventually got it. So, I mean, when it comes to pulley swapping stuff, unless you know your mower really well, and unless you know exactly the same pulley diameters you have, it's going to be a little difficult to get your belt, but it shouldn't be too hard. I mean, it wasn't too much for this thing. I mean, the belts didn't cost like 80 bucks. They were like $10, $15 a belt. You know, a couple Kevlars too. But anyways, the belt I got on here is a 99-inch belt, which I'll show you in just a second, and it fits perfectly. If you guys remember, the pulley, the idler pulley, was so not tightened. The belt was so loose, it was scrubbing on the drive pulley. If I can get this in, come on. And it would be like all the way down there. Like, it was bad. It was not good. This was also all the way down on the ground, and it was just not good. But if you notice, it sits a lot better than it did before. It's got a little bit of play. That's just like average lawnmower play. But right there is where it's being held, and that's what it was when it was stock. So the 99-inch works perfect. And you can see here, maybe I can get a light this time. All right, come on, baby. All right. That was the old belt, and you can actually see a little bit right here. It was starting to rub on the drive belt here, but I'll show y'all. All right. Let's see if I can show you properly here. Okay. So now when you go to push that clutch in, the pulley doesn't hit the drive pulley. It looks like it does, but it doesn't. This might be backwards for you, and if it is, I apologize. But now when you go to release, it's nice and taut. But when you go to push in, it's just loose enough to where the drive pulley doesn't catch on the belt, making me move. And that's always a consistent battle. Whenever you're pulley swapping, if you guys, you can call me an idiot if you want, but whenever you're pulley swapping a mower, there's a huge, really, it doesn't even matter if you're pulley swapping it or not. Just putting a belt on a mower, if you have it too tight, every mower guy out there knows this, and it's a fact, it's not fiction. If you put too tight of a belt on a mower and you push that clutch in and there's no give, there's no loosening of the belt, it's gonna keep sailing. You can't stop it, with or without brakes. I mean, if it's with brakes, you're gonna do a belt burnout. And if you don't have brakes, like with Chuck, you're just gonna keep sailing, you can't stop. And if it's too loose of a belt, when you go to press in your clutch, it's gonna be falling on the ground. And when you go to, depress it, it'll be tight. So you gotta find the right size belt, which is really critical for a pulley swap, because if this is too tight, I'm going 15, 25 miles an hour and I can't stop, that's an issue. With or without brakes, it's an issue. You can damage your whole entire belt setup if you have plastic pulleys, which thank God I don't, but you can damage some stuff, cost you more money. So you gotta think right the first time. That's why we haven't really, I only test drove this thing once off camera, and I'm glad I did do it off camera because a lot of things went wrong here. The steering system loosened up, the belt was too loose, and it dropped. So always good lesson for you guys to learn. If you ever want a pulley swap mower or just average mower that's going slow, you just want to put a new one on there, make sure it's the right size, because you don't want to have to be buying the belt over and over again like what I had to do just because the belt was too tight or too loose. So that was with Chuck. I mean, it's a battle working on mowers. Sometimes you get, if you got the money, you know, you probably won't give a damn. But if you're like me and you're just right in the middle there, you're not rich, you're right there in the middle. You always got to be careful of the way you do things, because you don't want to be spending more money than you should. But yeah. The belt works amazing. If you guys remember, we only had like reverse, neutral, 1, 2 on this thing. I want to get third, but if I can get third, it's not a big deal. I'm not going to be racing this thing all the time, because the kind of terrain we got, it's a lot of deep potholes and rock trails, like kind of like a lot of rocky dirt stuff, if you know what I mean. It's like rocks popping out of the dirt. So racing on my trail isn't really ideal. But we do have a certain part of the trail that we are actually making right now. I'm not going to tell you, I don't want to spoil it. But there's a certain part of the trail I want to make this year that is going to accept racing. So that'd be pretty cool, because this isn't the only pulley swapped one. This year Suburban's going to get pulley swapped, and this is going to get pulley swapped. So it's looking good. So getting back to the whole thing, I know I derailed it a bit, but I mean, I always like to explain my stuff good with you guys. Theoretically, the belt's already done. We just need a tank of gas, the engine tuned, and that shifter fixed, and we're out of here. This thing can finally leave the shop after a year and a couple other months later. I mean, oh my goodness, the amount of work is crazy, but it's worth it. And I'm also thinking, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. But I'm thinking, I picked up these old Kubota rims for free at a junkyard. Should I just spray paint them black? Maybe put like a Chevy symbol on here, or like a Sears symbol? What should I do? Should I keep these hubcaps, or should I just keep it like bone stock black rim? I'm always interested to see what you guys think. I'm always up for any kind of customization you guys want to recommend. Yeah, so let me know in the comments what you think. Should we keep this silver, paint it black with like some detail, or we're just not even have it at all, just have some black rim? Let me know, because I also have these, and I have the small ones here. So yeah, right on. I mean, this guy's almost done. Now, Crusty. I'm going to backtrack a bit for you guys. That day I made that video, I wasn't really impressed about it. I mean, to be honest, I just wanted something to post for you guys, just so I wasn't leaving you all hanging. But honestly, I think it's better not to post and to give you guys something a little more quality than to just throw it out there and then it's just not the best. But we had been spending a lot of time in the shop drilling, cutting, belt fitting, engine. I mean, we just went ham on this thing. And I'll show you what we did. Obviously, there's no V-twin. The V-twin is in the pool line, and we're swapping it out with this Honda single cylinder. I believe it's a 15 horsepower. Don't quote me on it. I'll have to run it through the model number because the sticker's worn off here on the blower shroud. But what we had done is we had drilled these holes for the mounting. We drilled 4 holes on each side to make the engine mount, and then we drilled 4 holes to bolt this motor in. So the motor is bolted in really solid. And what's really nice about this mower, is there's a lot of space we can work with. And this is good because we can add stuff to this motor. One of the things that is really awesome about these Hondas, I don't know if they do it anymore. They might quote me, don't quote me on it, but with this specific one, you can actually you can get a kit from Honda to add an electric start motor on here, which is really cool because instead of having a pull on it, you can have pole and you can have electric, 2 different types of starting methods, which is good on the trails because if you only have one, like with Chuck, if that starter blows on the trail, I'm getting towed out. But with this thing, you can electric start and pull start, which is really cool. So what we've done is we've fit idler pulleys on here. We got on the jack stands. We fit idler pulleys on here. We also got a steel pulley, and I'll show you. This is what's going to make the dream work right here. Boom, right there. This, it's not a big, it's not going to go like super fast, but it's going to go good enough. The stock pulley size on here, I think it was a 3-inch. No. Yeah, no, I'm right. 3-4 inch stock. But we put a 5-inch, which is only 1 inch difference than Chuck is a 5.98, which I'm just saying 6 round up. But if you want to get technical, the cast iron pulley on the drive part, the front part, is a 5.98. This is just a 5.005. So really, it's probably going to make a tiny bit of difference, maybe by like 1 mile an hour, but nothing big. The same ordeal, that actually had a 14-inch pulley. And rather than keeping it, I think we're going to shrink it down to an 8 or a 9. They're both, we want them both to be the similar speed. And here's why. If I'm way far ahead and he's all the way in the back and something happens to me up front, he won't find out about it until however long it takes to get up there. So we both want to be at the same speed. Also, because we also want to get some cool camera shots. I mean, why would it make sense for have the camera vehicle, or this isn't a camera vehicle, but to have someone recording, but they're all the way back. You know, I kind of want it to be the same speed so you guys can get some cool shots of the mowers doing their job. So my guesstimation for Chuck is he goes about 14, 15 miles an hour. 14, 15. I'm guessing. I might be wrong. The only way to test it is on the channel. We drive it with the mile an hour app. This thing, I'm guessing 13 to 14, only because that pulley is just a hair smaller than the drive pulley. And if you guys know your stuff out there, for some, you know, a lot of you guys might already know this, but I'm just gonna say it out loud for the people who don't. The big common rule to get your mower to go fast is big pulleys in the front, small pulleys in the back. Big pulleys in the front, small pulleys in the back. Now, whatever ratio you do, it's up to you. I find the same number to be helpful. This isn't a 6.6. I have this on purposely set for a 6.9. The reason is this transmission can handle a 6.6. It can go fast. But it does have an oil problem where it leaks oil on the seals, which I gotta fix that this year. I tried to do it last year, but the seals didn't work. I don't know why. I may have installed them wrong, or just the rubber bushings may have gotten hit by a stick or something. I don't know. And because it leaks oil, I can't go so fast. Because if that thing runs out of oil on the trails, you could lock your trans. So 6.9 is always good. You know, you guys can do whatever you want, experiment, but I always find if you can't do the same number, try to do one number and then a few numbers below that number. So if you're running a 5-inch up front, make like an 8 or a 7 in the back. Just so you're not going super fast, but you're going perfect. This thing, it's perfect. You got third gear to go mock Jesus. You got second gear to go regular lawnmower speed. And then you got first gear to just, I mean, this thing first gear, it should just solid rock crawl. I mean, just boom, right there, solid rock crawl. It's going like 1.5 miles an hour. It's just meant to go rock crawling. So that's the way I like mine. But, you know, I always say everybody's got their preference. You can do like a 5 in the front and a 22 in the back. I mean, honestly, it doesn't really matter. Whatever floats your boat, whatever floats your needs. I always find though, you gotta have different pulleys for different situations. If you're rock crawling, you don't want to go fast. You want to go slow. So bigger pulleys would be better. If you want to go fast and slow, you might want to do like a big to small ratio pulley, like a 6.9. If you want to go racing, I mean just full gear, 6 gear, 30, there's full bore, full throttle. You don't care. You're just going. Then you know you want to go full bore. You know, you might want to go like a 7 in the front, 8 in the front, and like a 3 or 4 in the back, as far as pulleys goes, you know, inches. So it's really your preference. But anyways, you know the deal. Kevlar belt. We don't dig around over here. I mean, we've tried the cheap belts and they're just junk. Always get the $20 to $30 Kevlar belts. Whenever I'm testing a fit on a mower, I'll get the cheapos just to see, okay, this is the right size, and then I'll buy the Kevlar. And then I'll just take those cheap pulleys, belts I use, and I'll just use them on things like a blade deck or something. But yeah, so it's almost ready for a test drive. The problem is that we're having right now is starting the motor. The pull start rope broke, so we're gonna buy a new pull start. And then later on the channel, I can't tell you guys when, because this stuff really depends on shipping dates, and it also depends on us, you know, like good weather, bad weather kind of stuff, whether we're busy or not. But the idea is turn it over, get it to run, put it in gear, and see if the drive line actually moves. Because this drive line, it's supposed to be going under the mower, like kind of like this. We're making it go this, which can be really tough. So it's a lot of work. One thing I love about making this kind of mower, just mud mowers in general, really, the creativeness of it. I mean, you could literally do something no one's ever done before, you know? It's really, really cool. And even if somebody has done it before, the fact that you're doing it is really cool. Like a lift kit on a lawnmower, holy cow, I don't see Cub Cadet or somebody offering that at Tractor Supply. I mean, it's really cool. Really cool stuff. But we got the body off so we can give it a fresh repaint. We might still give it a repaint. I'm not too sure. I think we're a little too far into it to do that. I think what we're going to do is just get it to run, drive, be reliable, put all the electricals back in neatly, clean it up a bit, put the body back on the way it is, and then get it out of here on the road. Because paint and stuff like that, it's nothing big. It's not going to stop the motor from running. It just makes it look good. Like with my mower, it doesn't have a grill for the hood, so I gotta buy a grill. And that stuff, that's the stuff I like to save for the last. It's not gonna kill you. So, and a lot of times I really recommend this to you off-road guys. Whenever you're building an off-road mower, please, 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 even if you're gonna store it in a shop, make sure almost everything on here is waterproof. Like the electricals we buy, I'll show you. This one right here, this place is a mess. I gotta clean this up. This is a marine fuse box, 30-40 bucks. I got off of Amazon. And you can even label it. And the idea is every time it kicks a fuse, the light will pop up. The reason why you want electrical, I shouldn't really have to explain this, but for some of the new guys who are looking for any ideas, I'm always happy to say this out loud, but whenever you're off-roading, we have had times where we couldn't film off on camera. We had to stop the camera because back then we didn't have waterproof cameras like we do now. But when you're off-roading, you don't know when that weather's going to turn and rain on you. We've had situations where it's rained on us, and I think I do have this on camera if you go back. I think it was a Memorial Day mud romp. I might be wrong. It might have just been a mud romp over in Yelping, but we were, all three of us, we had this one, we had Crusty, and we had the International. I don't know if you guys remember that one. That was a long time ago. But we were off-roading, and Chuck started acting really weird. The engine was misfiring. My volt gauge was actually dropping. It was out of this world. Something was grounding on something was happening to the electricals. And when we dug into it, we actually found out water had gotten into the fuse box. I'll show you here. Water had gotten into this whole area. It had actually gotten into here. The fuse wasn't put in all the way. Water got into there, and it short-circuited my wiring to a certain point. I think that's where that electrical tape's right there. It did some bad stuff. And then further down the road, I think you guys remember, we were taking this right down the trail in front of the shop, and the whole wiring system just melted itself because it grounded out. So one key thing I always like to tell people is make sure 80% of the stuff you're getting is waterproof. Always, always, always. Me with the CB, I'm probably going to take that off on the days where it's going to rain, but you know, it looks cool. But I mean, these lights are waterproof. Battery is a battery. I mean, the seat covers it. This is waterproof. all of this is waterproof now, and so is this waterproof. Think of it as like a surge protector. It's basically a place to put your fuses, but if water gets on it, it's not going to hurt anything. The wiring is also waterproof too. So water, always make sure you're getting stuff that is marine proof, because I've seen people where they've off-roaded, they're in the middle of off-roading and it goes from blue sky to cloudy sky, and that as they're coming home it rains, and it's not a fun thing. You know, you don't want to kill your mower while it's raining, all because you couldn't get marine stuff. So you don't have to listen to me, but I mean, you can always find out for yourself. Spray your lawnmower with a hose and see what happens. But marine, always get this kind of stuff. That's the way we run it. I mean, we're not a big budget here, but I at least like to do things the right way as much as you know, the best that I can, because it's a difference having a mower that can make it home than have a mower that goes out and you have to drag it home. That's not fun. You always want your mower to come back. You want it to be reliable. So that's why it takes a while for us to build these. You know, it's just small stuff like the shifter and stuff. Like, yeah, you know, you can nag at me for that, but I mean, tread, electricals, engine, frame, lift. I mean, you gotta think about the stuff you do before you go to do it. So this is a marine fuse box. I could leave a link in the description for you guys that are interested. Yeah. So that's that. That's what we have here on Crusty. I think we actually took it off because we were doing the electricals again, but yeah. A couple words to the wise there. So winches too. These are waterproof. We got those waterproof. We're thinking of putting a snorkel on this. I don't know. I'm thinking it over. Let me know. Like I said, let me know what you guys think. Snorkel or not. I mean, whatever you guys want. I mean, we can't do everything for you, but I always like to make this channel so that everybody can see some cool stuff, you know. And like I said, I'm always willing to do whatever you guys want. I mean, if you guys said, hey, rip the seat off a chuck and pull the battery out and make that battery tray into something cooler, I could move that battery up front. I mean, yes, it costs money and work, but I mean, I'm always trying to make it enjoyable for the viewers, just so you guys can at least see something worth watching, not just me working on a mower all the time. You know, as much as I hate it, it's got to get done. But yeah, I mean, look how far we've come. I mean, it's been what, a year and a couple months. I started this thing May, and I started recording June. And we did the lift kit, the steering shaft. We cut and welded more things with the Dremel than I can even count on my heads and toes, fingers and toes, Jesus. We put the new tread on, posi-lock transmission. We converted it from on the crotch. This used to be a crotch shift to on the side. Sure, it took a little bit of time, but we got it done. The transmission was crotch shift. This mower's always been on the side, but we converted it with linkages. We put a CB radio on it, which I mean, that's just aesthetics. We put off-road lights on it. These tires up front, let me know. I'll leave a link in the description. These are not your average Joe tires. These have a hard plastic inside them. So basically, it's rubber on the outside, hard plastic on the inside. So I could take a knife, stick it in that tire, it'll never lose air, which is really cool. They are expensive as heck. And if you notice, there is no tire bead on this. I meant tire stem. See that? No stem. Nothing in the back too. That's because these are hard plastic tires. I could show you actually. It's really, really cool. I did not know they made these until I went to Tractor Supply, and they were on sale. They were like 80 bucks for the two of them with the rim. 80, 90 bucks, and they were on sale for freaking 25 bucks. I just snagged them. Look at that. Awesome. And then when you look at something like this rubber, I won't do it as hard. Kind of see how you can press into it. With this one, you can't press in at all. Hard. The reason why I like these is you can run over as many rocks, stones, prickers, nails, you name it. That tire will never pop. These are gonna last a long time. So they are expensive though, so I don't blame you guys if you want to use the stock bead, rubber bead on the inside, or rubber tube, you know, a tube tire, tubeless. But what a score! I mean, those gotta be the best front tires I've had. I've had them for a while. But yeah, that's what's going on, guys. Also, keep an eye out for a video on Chuck. I'm gonna be cranking the motor over, doing a test and tune, just kind of getting the motor to be better. I tried to start it 4 weeks ago, a while ago, off camera, and it sounded terrible. It ran clean. It was running on 2 cylinders, I promise, but the carburetor needs heavy tuning. What's really famous with, and this is kind of why I did the lift kit, is V-twins without mufflers. Back when this thing didn't have a muffler, it vibrated the mower a lot. So what does vibration do? Vibration causes bolts that are loose to back out, even the tight bolts to back out. And what happened with Chuck, and it happened with Crusty too, actually, that's why we had to swap the motors, is the engine bolts were backing out and the carburetor adjustment bolts were backing out. So my air to fuel mixture screws backing out, my carb idler screws backing out. Not anymore, thank goodness, but I haven't tuned it since then, so it needs to be retuned. And what the lift kit does is it levels the motor out, but also I got that new muffler up front, so it's not vibrating as bad. For some of you guys that own those V-twin Kawasaki's, you know what I'm talking about. Those suckers, they're loud and they vibrate a lot. So it's the smallest stuff sometimes that can make your motor bad. So keep an eye out for that. We gotta get the engine tuned, fill it up with gas, and then off camera I'm gonna replace the shifting linkage. I was not impressed with my camera work under the mower. It was just not good. I like to present clear images to you guys. What I had down there was nothing pretty. So yeah, I mean, gas, engine tune, shifter, we're out of here. I'm probably gonna have to go hoodless just because the hood has no grill. We're gonna get a grill for it this year. No worries, just takes time. But yeah, I mean, that's what's going on, guys. The reason why I'm even posting this video is just because I couldn't make the short, so I couldn't tell you guys all this stuff, but I thought, you know, when I keep you guys updated. So we're looking at a mud rump very soon. As far as the Sears Suburban goes, I've had some questions asked to me about that. I'm not too sure. What stopped us from that build was the transmission high and low range. I think I talked to you guys about. We looked into it and it's not good. I think the trans is broken. To get it repaired, it's going to require a big brain that I don't have. There's so many things going on in those transmissions. These ones right here. I can crack these transmissions up all day. In fact, I got that one sitting in the back to be rebuilt. But these ones, I mean, you mess one thing up and that transmission's screwed. So what we're probably going to do is keep it for parts, and we got one coming, a good used one for like 40 bucks, 50 bucks, Facebook Marketplace. So that's what's stopping us. I mean, if you don't have a transmission, I can't work on it because I can't work on a motor. I can't work on a mower without a transmission, because when I take the transmission out, it's going to make my jack stands kind of, I don't know how to say it, it's going to put them off kilter a bit, because that Suburban, these frames are straight, so we can do it all day long with these, and they'll just be, what's happening to that too, actually. We can have these jack stands and they'll be strong, but the Suburban mower, the frame isn't straight. It kind of goes straight up a bit for the wheel arch, down, and then straight again. So without the transmission, it's going to be really difficult to get it to sit right, get the jack stands under it. Typically what we do is we have these roll in with rubber. We jack it up, jack stand with the rubber on, and then we take the tires and transmission out. But with a bad transmission, that won't move the tires. We can't even push it out. So that's what's happening right now. But we'll probably have to get that run soon. Not for a while though, so don't expect any videos on the Suburban soon. When we get the transmission, I'll start pumping them out. But after these 2 mowers are done, I got one project I know a lot of you guys, you've been chatting me about last year. I mean, I got so many comments on these 2 mowers that are green. I mean, it was hard for me to read them because I had so many of them flooding in. You know, people telling me about the hydraulics, the tires, what I'm gonna do, what kind of lights I'm putting on it, does the motor run, you know, all this different stuff. We're gonna bring these 2 John Deeres out front. I can't put them in the shop; they're too heavy. But we're gonna get the 2 John Deeres going, and possibly the 140 will cut grass again. So I don't want to say too much, but when these 2 mowers are done, we're gonna start working on the John Deeres, and it's gonna be really fun. You know, we got the 317 to crank over and drive in reverse. I still gotta contact Georgia Green 317 about some of that stuff because it's beyond me. I got those mowers. They're from the 60s and 70s. I don't know too much about those old stuff. I know a good amount, like about the farmhalls and stuff, but as far as the specific John Deere 140, I don't know. I've never actually seen one before until I got this one, so I'm so used to this kind of stuff. But I'm always interested to check it out. So that's pretty much it, guys. You got to see what the mowers are. John Deere videos coming out soon. Summertime's coming, so we'll probably do that around then. It's still a bit too cold. We're in spring, so I'm not in a rush. More pull-on videos coming. This blade deck's going to get painted, and well, it's going to get finished first, and then it's going to get painted, put back on with the new parts. So of course, you're going to see more videos on that. We're also going to do a Ford Explorer Revival 04 Ford Explorer with a 4.0 V6, and I don't want to say too much, but there's a specific reason why we're going to do that. It's going to be really cool for the channel. So basically, just keep your eyes out. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, leave a thumbs up on the channel. Also, share this video with your friends and family. I really appreciate the audience we've been building up. 283 subscribers. Let's keep it going. Keep it going. Yeah. I hope you guys stay safe. Catch you guys next time.